Hello, folks. Welcome to the Dandemonium podcast. I know it's been a little while. It's the podcast that everybody hates and nobody asked for, but here you are, and here I am. It's been a little while, so I want to get back on the mic, blah, blah, blah. I've given you the whole story about 3,000 times now, and make sure that this is recording. Jeez. That's the last thing I know, or the last thing I need is to go through 25 minutes, half an hour talking on the mic and find out I didn't hit record. That's a nightmare. I've done it before. I vowed never to do it again. Anyways, I don't know what episode this is. It will be marked on the episode. I just want to say cheers. I hope that everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving out there, spending time with their family, trying to align your chakras or just your thoughts, your ideas, the importance, your priorities. That's the word I was looking for, priorities. So cheers to that. Happy Thanksgiving. Belated. And I did want to do that cheers because I've done a few podcasts previously, and some of my most listened to podcasts, I believe, which was Ya Booze Bag, and then Ya Booze Bag number 2. I might just name this Ya Booze Bag number 3, but we'll see how it goes. I have a lot to talk about. It's been a long time, as I've already mentioned, and but I take these sips because that's it. That's it for me for a little bit. I have a lot of work I have to attend to in the next several months. I think when I put down those previous episodes were around like pandemic time, and it was so easy. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to go into the whole thing about how everybody lost their mind, and it's and a lot of people strived, and some tried to thrive, and either way, I hope that man, we got election season coming up. I just sneezed like 3 or 4 times, so if I sound a little nasally, I do apologize. I do not have anything that I know of. And, there's one thing that you don't want. You don't want them AIDS, bro. You don't want them AIDS. Even that has come a long way, so maybe it's not a big deal anymore. I don't know, but I don't have them AIDS, okay? So happy Thanksgiving. This is just the Saturday not prior to, but why can I find words now? I cannot find words. Past, prior is before, the previous is before, whatever. The Saturday after Thanksgiving. I'm going to keep it simple and stupid, everybody. This is only beer number 4, but that's it. That's it. That's all I got on the house. That's all that there is going to be. I am drying out, folks. I'm going to drink a little bit more water, so not just drying out, but, I hope, yeah, that's what it is. It's what it is. It's something that that I think would be good for me. You know what I mean? I got a lot to focus on, as I mentioned. So anyways, moving on. I got several things that I had written down here. Halloween. I haven't talked to you either prior to Halloween or after. Hope everybody had a good Halloween. I might just try to include something that I had recorded after I got what I would call a professional makeup artist to work on some professional vampire makeup for me. And I had recorded something. I thought it was stupid as hell. I had never published it. So maybe I just add this to the video here so everybody could see how stupid I could be. But yeah, Halloween. Didn't have a lot of kids coming around, knocking on the doors. It was pretty light Halloween as far as candy goes and giving out candy, but those that did and showed up early, they ended up with some full bars of It was Hershey's chocolate, some Reese's cups, Kit Kats, and I think that was it. Those were the only 3. I only had so many to give out. Yeah, since then I've had to sage the house. I had a roommate that was in here for 2.5 years. And although it wasn't, a completely negative and experience, just having another person in the house, it's not the first time that I've had this. I try to help people out when they need a place to stay and or in between apartments, or just came up across something unexpected. And a lot of the people that I've had in the house I know, so it makes it a little bit easier than just a complete stranger. So that always helps, not just being a complete fucking weirdo. But I was joking around with the roommate, and I was like, just like, he was like a week into just leaving. And I'm like, I'm going to have to sage the house when you leave. Do you know that? I have to get some sage. They look like big blunts. And maybe hire a priest or maybe 2 just to make sure that, there's they're checking. Like one's checking the other. We got a fact check on the one priest. So I'll hire 2 just in case. Nice blunt of sage. A little torch. Get that thing started. Walk around the whole house. Getting rid. Why can't I talk? Getting rid of the negative energies and spirits. I'm like, you've been here too long, my friend. It's time for you to move on. And good thing that he ended up finding something that, is good. It's good. I haven't followed up too much since, but I hope he is well. And yeah, you owe me $180 for having to sage the house. Fucking 2 priests. They're charging $60 an hour just to come to your house for like per priest for the hour, sage the house. It's like getting rid of demons ain't cheap. You know what I mean? Got travel costs and inflation, all that good stuff. So I hope that the house is free and clear of any negative energy and demons that might be left behind due to my previous roommate. It was quite a trip. Quite a trip. We are, since I've last talked to you, let me cross some of these items out just so I can stay on track and make sure that I'm not overstepping here. But one more thing is we are getting closer and closer to the impending, see, there I go, trying to use big words again. The impending doom of the apocalypse, or potentially World War III and different proxy wars. I don't know if I could say that, but, whatever. I said it. What are you going to do? It's a little bit above my pay grade, as some might say. But that's crazy, every day you got to wonder if you're going to wake up to one of those emergency alerts on your phone, like you got a intercontinental ballistic headed your way, duck and cover. Maybe it lists a city. I don't know how accurate it's going to be because we've never been in this situation. But I had a joke that was a while ago, where it's like, it's all fun and games. I'll explain it in a second, but here's the joke. It's all fun and games until everybody loses their electricity. And it's not so much a joke because that shit ain't funny. Okay, whether it's an EMP, you know how long it would take for everybody to lose their shit when they don't have, we're attached to the phone, the electricity. Everything relies on electricity. Everything. All your conveniences, the refrigeration at your supermarket. You know how long it's going to take for people to lose their shit when we lose electricity? Not long. okay? I hear within the first like 2 hours, there's chaos. There's people dying. There's people getting shot. There's people getting run down. Oh, if you hear that there has been an EMP attack on your area, the first thing you do, well, probably I was going to say go to the supermarket, but get strapped. That's number one. Number two, go to the supermarket. If you have to buy it, bring gold. Just make sure you're covered. Watch 6, stay frosty. We can't imagine the chaos. And I try to imagine it just to like stay sharp, just to try and be ahead of the game because, I mean, it's unexpected. What is the definition of preparation, right? And that's to be prepared, to be ahead of the game, be more knowledgeable, have beneficial resources to maintain certain basics. And a lot of people that haven't thought about the stuff, and I'm talking real news here, but the people that haven't really thought about it might be a little bit left behind. And that's going to be the most difficult situation if any of this escalates and transpires into something that is devastating to our normal ways of being. Because we are very comfortable. We're comfortable. And if there's one thing that the thing back in 2020 rather, has shown us is that society is quite fragile. We're so used to it. It all runs to most of our knowledge, unless you're super old or maybe even super young, or I don't fucking know. I think more so if you're super old because you've seen a lot more stuff, a lot more devastating, a lot more hardship than maybe a lot of the other people out there. But for the most part, we've had it pretty good. We've had the maintenance, the maintaining of our basic conveniences, or not even just basic, evolved conveniences. Everything has just gotten more and more convenient, okay? So that's just something to give it some thought, I wanted to put down a podcast about how I already have plans after the apocalypse to set up an apocalyptic, it's going to be like one of the only apocalyptic pizza joints in the area. And I'm not going to tell you my secret, but I'm going to have a stockpile of pizzas. Okay. Do you know how valuable pizza becomes in an apocalypse situation? We're so used to these conveniences. How many people out there order a freaking pizza? Okay. Not only some people go to pick it up. Some people like to have that convenience of delivery. I know I am one of those people. Okay, and if you like that convenience and you're used to eating pizza every now and again and just enjoying that simple pleasure of pizza, then you know what I'm talking about. 2 weeks into an apocalyptic EMP, no electricity, martial law, chaotic state, you know what people will pay for a pizza? There's going to be husbands, and this is all about apocalyptic, right? So there's going to be husbands that are going to be willing to trade their wives for pizza. And this is nothing like dirty. This is nothing crazy, right? Nothing weird going on. But in an apocalypse situation, right? It's like you have to build your crew, and that's going to take a long time, But, the women to procreate and build the crew, you got to increase your farmland, you got to increase your resources, increase everything, right? So people are going to be trading massive. I got ammo. I got tons of ammo. I got 3,000 12 gauge shotgun shells that I'm willing to trade for one cheese pizza. That's all it is. That's all you get in cheese. In the apocalypse is cheese. That's all you get. Right? But we haven't thought about that. I already thought about on my property. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to hire a crew. I'm going to build an alligator moat around the perimeter of my house. Okay, there's going to be somewhat of a drawbridge. There's going to be no windows or extremely reinforced windows. I got to have the fire pit for the pizza, right? And I have a lot to figure out, but a lot of people don't think about those times in the apocalypse, you know? You know how crazy? Let's just hope that we never see it. We never get there. But I don't know. We are closer than ever before, I must say. Oh, what else did I write? Home Chef. Okay, what a transition from the apocalypse to Home Chef. Speaking of modern day conveniences, we got this home delivery, food service, Home Chef. They include everything. This isn't a paid advertisement, okay? They will probably try suing me just for mentioning their names in this crazy, weird-ass podcast. But I do Home Chef. I'm almost 180 meals or so into the... I've been a customer since 2018. You can look it up, Home Chef. But, I skip weeks here and there just because the way that it works out or maybe the choices that are offered, although they have a great amount of choices, don't get me wrong. I don't know why I'm simping on Home Chef right now. They're not fucking paying me. You know what, Home Chef? If you want to advertise and be a sponsor for the show, give me a call, hit me up contact me through YouTube. I don't know, make a comment, pin it, flag it, make sure that I get the contact because I could really use some free food. I'm going to take videos. I'm going to post them. And maybe I'll throw the hashtag Home Chef on there. You know what I mean? All right, what else? Talked about Halloween already. Twitter. Do I want to go on a rant about Twitter? I don't know. How far am I into it already? About 17 minutes into this. And I have a few pluses and minuses about Twitter, but I'm just going to talk about it and get this off my chest because I haven't been a subscriber to Twitter or paying attention for that long. It's within the past year, but there has been pluses and minuses. Probably after Elon Musk took control of it is when I decided to sign up. So there are plus and minuses to Twitter, and that would entail... So what are some of the pluses, right? You get the news super early. A lot of it is a lot of things that are going on that you don't hear about in other avenues of media, or at least I don't, because I don't pay attention to those medias, quite honestly. So I can't... Some are and some aren't. But some of the people that are posting some of this, what I would consider important news, a lot of times are sure to mention that this isn't covered in the, what you would call mainstream media. So you get a lot of that breaking news. A lot of it's nationally. There's a lot of it that's internationally. What are the downsides? And there's almost more downsides than there are upsides. So some of the downsides are everybody wants to get that breaking news out there, right? They want to be the first person to post on it, or it's so crazy. There's a lot of things that are slow down, motherfucker. There's a lot of things that are trending out there. And last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, it was Bill Burr's wife. And this was at the UFC 295. So Donald Trump, and they had that whole entrance, Kid Rock, Donald Trump, Dan Bongino. Who was it? I think it was it Dana White? Tucker Carlson? And they go to sit down, or I guess they were seated near Bill Burr, the comedian Bill Burr, and his wife, Nia, did a double FU to Trump. Like as he was, like everybody's cheering, having a good time, and she's over there just in the background like, thank you, crap. Not that she doesn't talk like that, but, and then that was trending on Twitter. Like, oh my God, and everybody's posted Bill Burr's wife. And it's so sensationalist. Like everybody, one person, and then two people, and then three people. And it's like, how many times do you want to scroll down an effing feed and just see the same story and even the same language? It's like, what do you think about this? And a lot of it's engagement farming. And, because that's what promotes your profile or your account or the amount of views and the engagement and how long everything is a time suck out there, right? Everything is just out there to attract the attention of the most valuable thing that you own on this planet, in your existence, right now, and that's time. That's all. I was going to the Institute of Art. I forget exactly what class or the name of the teacher, but there was one teacher out there, right? And I remember him saying this. People are like, oh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. There's not enough time. We get caught up in saying there's not enough time. But you know what? In the consideration of time, that's all there is. That is everything. There is time, and that time is everything. It's valuable, and it shows in everything. Every part of the way that technology processes today is a matter of time, and your personal identity and information, and your digital profile, if you will. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So that was Bill Burr, right? Bill Burr's trending, and then his wife. And then I found it funny because, it captured me a little bit. I'm like, oh shit. Is Bill Burr going to send out a message? Like, what's his response to this? He's got to respond to all this. He's trending on Twitter. Oh my God, everybody's freaking out, posting about the same thing on Twitter. Oh, he's got to reply, right? And it's radio silence. I think he even posts something that was completely unrelated to a conversation video conversation that was recorded for whatever, him and another guy. And it was like completely unrelated since the news broke out. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Like he wasn't responding. And ultimately, long story short, he ended up responding on some sort of podcast, some recording that was released. It was like, by that time, there's so much more to focus on because this shit moves super fucking quick. By the time you blink and he has the right idea. If anything were to come out on social media, it's like, just fucking ignore it for 24 hours. We got the attention span of a goddamn goldfish over here. And then it's gone. Poof. Like smoke in thin air with a fucking wild breeze right behind it just to clear the air. And then sometimes, occasionally, people like throw shit out there, and then more people throw shit out there. It'd be like, Michelle Obama has a penis. And be like, oh my God. And other accounts start posting like pictures of her with a dong and a dress. And, you could see the silhouette of, she's hanging something down there. I don't see why she would go to the extent of hanging something fake down there, So who knows? I don't know what's real and what's not. And then Michael Rappaport, this comedian, his only funny content was where he had this funny looking cat outside his mom's place. And he's outside in the backyard. He's like, yo, Mom. It's like, that fucking funny looking cat is back. He's like, what the fuck you looking at? And that was a funny bit. That was funny. Since then, that was probably pre-pandemic. And he's just insufferable. He's like difficult but anytime people pay attention to that. So he could just put a post out there, right? And then all of a sudden that's trending. It's like, oh, Michael Rappaport, it's talking shit about the right-wing conservatives, that have this view on abortion. You know, he's all loud. He's very vocal, very loud and obnoxious, like I'm being right now. But he just went on Twitter. He's like, I'm going to be, you know, if it's between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I don't know if this is a bit or not, but he's like, I would vote for slob dick Donald Trump. He's calling him slob dick. But everybody's like, oh my God, this guy, if there's anybody that has been vocal about hating Donald Trump, right? It's probably Michael Rappaport. And I hate the fact that I'm talking about it right now, but I'm just elaborating, and you won't hear much about Twitter, but these are frustrating things. And then that becomes a wave of news for the 24-hour cycle, 10, 12, 18, 24-hour cycle. Before the next thing hits. What's the next thing, you might ask? Derek Chauvin, right? Right? Derek Chauvin. You might know him from the George Floyd incident. And there was new evidence that recently came out that said George Floyd was heavily influenced under drugs. All right? And that is the cause of his death. Right? So then that would make you think that somebody was wrongfully accused. I don't care what mainstream media says. I don't care. It's facts, okay? All emotions aside, all differences aside, what are the facts? It's the most important thing. And the craziest thing that I brought up during Thanksgiving, one of the craziest things that I brought to my family on Thanksgiving was the fact, just mentioning that we live in the craziest times, okay, of technology and information. Not only that, we could search something that we believe and search in a specific way to find at least 3 articles supporting that idea. And then the other way around. You could go completely opposite of that, do that search, and find at least 3 articles supporting that idea. Okay, so we have to use critical thought and make our own decisions. And understand that there is a media bias out there that collectively decides what and what not you should be exposed to. And I think that's pretty clear. It's called propaganda, and it is definitely a component of media and bias media, and recognizing the biases, okay? Biases, however you want to say it. But the fact is knowing that there are 3 sides, three things to every story or whatever. It's like the 2 different opposite stories and then the truth. You know, there's 3 sides to every story, you know. Usually the in between the 2 is somewhere close to the truth. And that's about it. That's all I have to say for Twitter. Twitter is a hot mess. I just dropped my papers. Twitter is a hot fucking mess. And then you could see, like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it anymore. What else? A few weekends ago, just with Twitter, the last thing I'll say, Austin Hamas protest, or the pro-Palestinian protest. I don't know. But that was in, like, downtown Austin. It's like, holy shit. I think a Capitol fucking building, somebody started on fire. I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate. That's about it. Talked about that. Talked about this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. I had a little story that I had written down as a joke, and I haven't read the joke and what I had written down in probably 1 year at least. So, but it's pretty, like, ingrained in my head. So I think I could tell you the story. Yeah, so on this channel, you might start seeing just really short jokes that I'm going to be throwing out there. And I do put those up as shorts. I believe if you go onto YouTube, I have my videos, which are going to be more like this, longer form kind of thing. The shorts are under a minute. If you don't know that, you've been living under a rock. So I might throw some more jokes out there, cross that off. I went to a shooting range. I think that everybody should stay sharp with their skills and be knowledgeable, reinforcing safety and use and comfortable use and nature to any firearms. Because we do know if the impending apocalypse doom does happen in one way or another, then you want to be ready. Okay, so look up generators, buy ammo, get comfortable with your firearms, maybe buy a freezer, have a water collection system and or disinfectant. What do they call that when you clean the water? I don't know. I'm searching for big words again. Clarification. I don't know. But surprisingly, it was a very fun time. It was a fun time getting back to the range. So I do recommend that and being safe and responsible with all that. So I'll leave with this. Okay, this is the bird story. Now it's not really. I mean, it's kind of like, it's not a depressing bird story, but, it's not depressing. And I am recalling this from when I wrote it down last, which was probably a year ago or sometime. So I'm going down to a local. That's not a good start. That's not a good start right there. That is not a good start. Let's try this again. 3, 2, 1. And you're on. I was going to a gas station right down the street. Okay, so I needed to get. I was going to get some cigarettes and some beers, okay? A case of beers. I normally don't drink domestic, but I'm like, I'm just going to go down there and get some Miller Lights. All right. I think they were Coors, actually. Coors Light. And I go down to the gas station, and that was all good. It's like a nice summer day, maybe about 6:30, something like that. And on my way back, it was so strange. Okay, on my way back, like I got the six case of beer, of course, in the passenger seat. And I think nothing of it. Like as I normally just drive down the street, whatever I have, I'll put in the seat. And then I continue. So there's a light. And then right down my street, there's this little bird as I'm approaching, going back home. It's a little bird. He's sitting in the middle of the road. All right, this little bird. And it's like, I thought nothing of it because it's clearly like bright out. I figure that the thing has all its faculties and, and senses about. Could be a deaf bird, could be a blind bird. I don't think it lived this long if it was a blind bird. So it's probably not blind. Could it be deaf? I don't know. What's the percentage of deaf birds? What's the probability of that being a deaf little bird? Okay, regardless of that fun fact. I'll look that up later. But from my experience, as you get closer to a little bird that's just standing in the middle of the road, as you get closer, the thing gets to a point where it just flies away. I don't know if it was deaf. I don't know if it was suicidal. I don't know if it was injured. I don't know if it was just having a fun, old-timey game of chicken. Right? It wasn't a chicken. It was a bird. It could be playing chicken. Because it didn't move. This little bird in the middle of the road just stood there. Didn't even look at me. Didn't even look at the car. Okay? And I got closer and closer. I'm like, oh my God, this bird is going to fly away. It has to fly away. That's what all birds do as you're driving down and there's a little bird in the middle of the road. But it didn't fly away. So I throw the brakes on a little bit. I steer to the right. I get back in my lane. Thank God I didn't fuck up my rims from hitting the right curb, because there was a curb on my right side, but I didn't go that far. I had just enough to get back in my lane. And I look back. I look in my mirror, my side mirror, and I see the little fucking bird is still standing in the middle of the road. I was happy that I didn't kill this little bird, right? It leaves me perplexed because I'm like, I want to pull over to the side of the road. I want to talk this bird down from the ledge. I want to know what this bird is going through. And I want to be there for it. And I want to let it know that there are brighter days out there, bird. You have more to live for than standing in the middle of the road. You know, I don't know. I didn't see any cars right behind me, or people swerving, or it's not a high traffic area. It's a residential, 25 miles an hour. Even at 25 miles an hour, I thought the bird was going to fly away. Like, it's going to recognize my truck and it's going to fly away. So I learned a few things, okay, that day. And I guess the first one is I didn't realize that there are suicidal birds out there just waiting to be smashed by a vehicle. I didn't know we needed a BetterHelp.com bird hotline. You know, let's make it free for the birds. You know what I mean? And then two, it's probably best that you put the case of beer, you better seatbelt that beer up, okay? Because you don't know when a suicidal little bird is just going to stand in the middle of the road and like test your skills, test your reflexes. It's going to be like, are you really going to hit me? Huh? I don't know. That's all I got for you, the little bird. And I could have had that punchline. I'm sure I had it set up to where, because the main thing at the end of that joke was supposed to be like, I learned two things, like, don't trust a bird in the middle of the road, and make sure you put the case of beer in the seatbelt. I don't know. I just ruined it. But I hope you enjoyed some of that, the psychotic little bird story, okay? And I think that's all I have. I really appreciate you tuning in to this episode of the Dandemonium podcast. This is Saturday evening, so depending on when I get this finalized and sent out, I hope you listen, I hope you enjoy, and I hope I can keep going back. I have new motivation to get some jokes out. I just purchased a mic stand, a new mic, a longer cable, so I'm going to be practicing some stand-up comedy on my own time and probably visiting some open mics. So that is good things to look forward to. I'm very excited. Keeps my brain moving and focused. And thank you. I hope everybody enjoyed. You have a good evening. And the next thing, I'll talk to you before Christmas. I guarantee it. Okay? And this is, let me chug the last of my beer. I'm just going to have it right here. Okay? I normally don't do that, and that's my last beer, and I ain't going back out. So glad to have shared that with you. I will follow up with you very soon, and take care.